Welcome back to the deep dive. Have you ever looked at a marketing report and just thought, is this actually working? Are we just throwing money out there, or is this genuinely helping us grow?
Yeah, that's a super common question, isn't it?
Absolutely. And if that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place today. Because, well, in business development, figuring out if your marketing is paying off, it's not just nice to know. It's essential.
Totally essential. And our goal today is really to help you cut through all that data noise. We want to give you a clear roadmap.
Exactly. We're diving deep into marketing campaign planning and performance measures using the business development body of knowledge as our guide. This isn't just about spreadsheets full of numbers.
No, not at all. It's about making smart, data-driven decisions, the kind that actually propel your business forward. We're moving beyond just raw data points.
Think of this as maybe your shortcut, a way to turn marketing spend into results you can actually see and measure. We want to equip you, our listener, with a really clear grasp of which metrics really matter, how to measure that impact, and crucially, how to plan campaigns that they'll just work.
And maybe we should start with a really basic but critical distinction.
Good idea. What's that?
The difference between key performance indicators, KPIs, and what people often call vanity metrics.
Ah, yes. KPIs versus vanity metrics. So what's the real difference in practice?
Well, KPIs are what we call actionable metrics. They should be smart specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. These are the numbers that let you do something. They inform decisions.
They tell you what's working or maybe what's not and what you should do next, right?
Precisely. Vanity metrics, on the other hand, they might look good on paper. Think like total social media followers or just raw website hits.
Stuff that makes you feel good, maybe?
Exactly. But they often don't give you enough solid evidence to act on. They don't really explain the why or tell you what to tweak. And, ultimately, it's the company's leadership that has to decide what counts as an actionable KPI for their specific goals.
That's such a key point. It's not just about collecting data, it's collecting the right data, data that lets you act. So the body of knowledge breaks these metrics down further, doesn't it, into two main types?
It does, yeah. It talks about channel metrics and performance metrics.
Okay, channel metrics, that sounds like measuring how well a specific platform is doing, like your website or social media.
Exactly that. Website performance, email campaign stats, social channel engagement, that sort of thing.
And performance metrics.
Those drill down more into how effective a specific tactic is. So things like content marketing or telemarketing, maybe search engine marketing. How well is that particular activity performing?
Got it. And a lot of these, especially early on, relate to the awareness stage, right? Getting noticed in the first place.
That's right. Marketing teams often lead that initial awareness phase, so understanding those metrics is foundational.
Okay, let's get into some of those then. Foundational awareness stage metrics. First up, cost per thousand impressions or CPM.
Right, so an impression is just when your ad or media gets displayed to someone. CPM is often how digital ad space is priced you pay per 1,000 times it's shown.
But there's a catch here, isn't there? With served versus viewable impressions.
Oh, absolutely. A huge catch. Served impressions just means the ad code was delivered to the browser. It doesn't mean anyone actually saw it. It could have been, below the fold or blocked by an ad blocker.
So it might not have actually appeared on the screen.
Exactly. Viewable impressions try to measure only the ads that were actually genuinely seen. Focusing on viewable is critical if you want to know your ad spend is actually buying eyeballs, not just potential eyeballs.
Makes sense. And how do you track these accurately, especially if you have multiple ads running?
Good question. Usually, you'd use a unique destination, like a specific landing page for that ad. Or, more commonly, you use UTM codes.
Ah, merchant tracking module codes, those little tags you add to URLs.
Yep. They carry info about the source, the medium, the campaign name. So tools like Google Analytics can read those codes and tell you exactly which ad or link drove that visit or impression. Really granular tracking.
Okay, so you've got eyes on the ad, hopefully viewable ones. What's next? Getting them to engage.
Right. And that's where click-through rate, CTR, comes in. It's simply the percentage of people who saw your ad or link and actually clicked on it.
How's that calculated again?
It's straightforward. Total clicks divided by total impressions, then multiply by 100 to get the percentage.
And closely tied to that is cost per click, or CPC.
Yep. CPC is just what you pay each time someone clicks that link or ad. Pretty self-explanatory.
So high CTR looks good, but as a business developer, you need to know if they're the right clicks. Clicks from your target audience.
Absolutely. A click is just the start. What happens next? That leads us to conversion rate, CVR, sometimes called brand activation rate.
Okay, what's that measuring?
It's the percentage of people who took the desired next step after clicking. So maybe they filled out a form, downloaded something, signed up for a trial, whatever that initial conversion goal is for that piece of media.
So it shows how effective the ad or landing page is at getting people to take that first action.
Exactly. And that ties directly into cost per lead, or CPL, which is just your total campaign cost divided by the number of leads you generated.
So CPL tells you how efficiently you're filling the top of your funnel, basically, especially for awareness campaigns.
Precisely. It's a very direct measure of awareness campaign effectiveness in terms of lead generation.
Now, you mentioned impressions earlier. How does reach differ from impressions? People mix these up all the time.
They do. It's a key difference. Reach is the number of unique individuals who saw your content. Impressions is the total number of times your content was displayed.
So if one person sees my ad 5 times,
That's one reach, but 5 impressions. Reach tells you how broad your audience is. Impressions tell you about frequency or total exposure. Both matter, but for different reasons.
got it. Okay, moving beyond clicks and views.
Yeah.
What about broader brand impact? Things like brand awareness.
Yeah, brand awareness or brand lift is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
What portion of your target audience actually knows your brand exists? Can they identify it?
And then there's brand salience. That sounds a bit more specific.
It is. Brand salience, sometimes called top-of-mind awareness or mental availability, asks, which brand comes to mind first when a consumer thinks about a specific need or category? You usually measure this with polls, like, when you need accounting software, who do you think of?
Ah, okay. So it's about being the first one people think of. And brand preference.
That measures how much your target audience actually prefers your product or service compared to your competitors. Again, usually through surveys or polling, helps you gauge your competitive standing.
There are others too, right? Like bounce rate. That often comes up in email marketing.
Yes, bounce rate usually refers to the percentage of consumers who didn't actually receive the media. Maybe an email got blocked by a spam filter, for example. It's a deliverability metric.
And favorability, how people feel about you.
Exactly. Favorability measures the target audience's feelings or attitudes towards your company. Again, typically measured by polling. Are the vibes good?
Good vibes are important. Okay, what about search? Search rankings or search AP?
Crucial. SERP stands for Search Engine Results Page. Your rank on that page for relevant keywords is huge for visibility. Google emphasizes EAT expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Nail those, and you rank higher.
Makes sense. And once they do click through, say from search or an ad, they land on your website. What metrics matter there?
A whole suite of them. You've got website sessions, basically the number of visits from a single person. Within a session, you track page views, how many different pages they looked at.
Page depth.
That's the number of pages viewed per session. Gives you an idea of engagement. Alongside time on page, how long they spent looking at a specific page.
And average session duration ties it all together for the whole visit.
Yep. Low page depth, high bounce rate from the landing page, short time on page. These can all signal problems. Maybe the content isn't relevant or the user experience is poor, things you need to fix.
Okay, that's a lot of individual metrics.
Yeah.
But ultimately, don't they all need to roll up into something bigger? Like the actual return?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it often comes down to return on investment, ROI, sometimes called return on effort, ROE, and return on ad spend, ROS.
Right, ROI, the big one. How's that calculated again?
You take the revenue generated from the campaign, subtract the total costs of running that campaign, and then divide that result by the total campaign costs.
So revenue cost.
Exactly. But, and this is critical, you must be clear whether you're using total revenue or profit in that calculation. It makes a huge difference to the final number and how it's interpreted.
Good point. Profit ROI will look different from revenue ROI and ROAS. How is that different?
ROAS specifically measures the efficiency of your paid marketing. So, think ads. It looks only at the revenue generated directly from an ad campaign divided by the cost of just the ad spend itself.
So revenue from ad cost.
Mm.
It ignores other campaign costs like creative development or staff time.
Generally, yes. It's laser focused on how much revenue each dollar of ad spend is bringing back. It's great for quickly seeing which paid channels are performing best financially.
Okay, that clarifies the ROI versus ROAS distinction. Super helpful. So we know what to measure now. But a huge challenge for business developers is knowing which marketing effort actually led to a sale, right?
Yeah.
Especially when customers interact in lots of different ways.
You've hit on a core challenge, marketing attribution. It's the whole process of figuring out how much credit each campaign or piece of media deserves for driving revenue, giving credit where credit is due.
And there are different ways to do that, different models.
There are. Broadly, you have single source attribution models or single touch attribution, STA. These give all the credit for a conversion to just one touch point.
Like which ones?
The two main ones are first touch attribution, where the very first interaction the customer had gets 100% of the credit. Maybe the first blog post they read or the first ad they clicked.
Okay.
And the other, last touch attribution. Here, all the credit goes to the very last thing they interacted with right before they converted, like the final email click or the demo request form submission.
Those sound simple, maybe too simple.
They are definitely simpler to implement, and maybe they work okay if your customer journey is very straightforward, using only one or two channels. But you're right, they often feel too simple for today's world.
Because people bounce around a lot more now.
Exactly. The business development body of knowledge even cites a Harvard Business Review stat stating that 73% of buyers use more than one channel during the customer journey. 73%.
Wow. Okay. So if nearly 3/4 of buyers are using multiple channels, giving all the credit to just the first or the last touch seems, well, inaccurate.
It often is, yeah. It completely ignores the influence of all the touch points in the middle that guided the customer along, which is why many people move towards multi-source attribution models or multi-touch attribution.
Can teach up. Okay. So these models try to share the credit.
They do. They acknowledge that multiple interactions contributed. One common MTA model is linear.
Linear. What does that do?
It just splits the credit equally among all the touch points in the recorded journey. First, ad click, mid-funnel webinar, final email, they all get an equal slice of the pie.
Seems fair, maybe. But is every touch point really equally important?
Probably not, right? Which leads to the most sophisticated and complex model, weighted attribution.
Weighted. So this tries to assign different levels of importance.
Precisely. It assigns different weights or percentages of the credit to different touch points based on their position or perceived impact in the journey. Maybe the first touch gets more credit, the last touch gets more, and the ones in the middle get less, or vice versa. Or maybe certain types of interactions, like watching a product demo, get weighted more heavily.
That sounds like the most accurate approach, potentially. But I imagine setting those weights is tricky.
Very tricky. It requires a lot of analysis and testing. But if you can get it right, it gives you the most nuanced understanding of what's truly driving conversions across complex multi-channel campaigns.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Understanding attribution is clearly vital. And all this, the metrics, the attribution, it really underscores the need for solid planning before you even launch anything, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It all comes back to the campaign plan. This isn't just paperwork, it's your strategic blueprint. A good plan forces you to think through all these elements up front.
So what are the critical parts of a strong campaign plan, according to the body of knowledge?
Well, it starts with the goal. What are you trying to achieve? Which phase of the journey are you targeting? Awareness, activation, conversion, success, growth. Because that goal dictates everything else.
Like who you're targeting.
Exactly. Targeting is next. Defining your ideal customer profiles, ICPs, your buyer personas, demographics, firmographics, company size, industry, getting really specific about who you're trying to reach.
And then picking the right places to reach them, the channels.
Right. Channel selection. And the body of knowledge points out there are different strategies here. You've got single channel, obviously just one. Multi-channel means you're present on several, but they might operate independently, the customer chooses.
Okay.
Then cross-channel is more integrated. The channels work together, maybe passing information along, like starting on social media, continuing via email.
A smoother journey.
Yeah. And the most advanced is omni-channel. This aims for a completely seamless, personalized experience across all touch points, almost anticipating the customer's next move. Highly personalized, very integrated.
That sounds like the ideal, but probably complex to execute. What else goes into the plan?
You need your tactical mix, the specific marketing activities you'll use, your media mix, video, audio, text, graphics, also your delivery approach, waterfall, or maybe agile.
And the people.
Yep, talent. Who's on the internal team? Do you need external help agencies, consultants, influencers? That needs to be mapped out.
Makes sense. Plus the timeline, presumably.
Of course. A clear schedule with milestones is vital. And then the budget. What's the overall spend? What's the desired ROI? Are there conditions for scaling up the budget if things go well?
And finally, circling back.
Circling back to the KPIs, the plan must specify which key metrics you'll use to measure success and which attribution model you'll apply to evaluate performance. It ties everything together.
Wow, okay. That's a comprehensive overview. So, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, let's try and boil it down. What are the absolute key takeaways for our listeners? Maybe the top 3.
Okay, top 3. For me, number 1 has to be actionable metrics rule. Seriously, focus like a laser on KPIs, not vanity metrics. Use data that actually helps you make decisions. That's what moves the needle in business development.
Good one. My first would be similar, maybe focusing on why. Don't just collect numbers that look good on a slide. Collect the data that tells you what to do next.
Right.
Focus on insight, not just information. Okay, what's your second?
Second takeaway, attribution unlocks true value. You have to understand how different touch points contribute. Getting your head around single touch versus multi-touch attribution is crucial for knowing your real ROI and optimizing where you spend your money, especially across different channels.
Yeah, understanding how you got the win is just as important as getting the win itself. My second builds on that. Strategic planning is non-negotiable. That campaign plan we just discussed, it's your foundation. Especially with that 73% multi-channel stat, you can't afford to just wing it. Clear goals, defined targets, chosen channels, solid KPIs, it's essential for success. Guessing is just too expensive.
Agreed. So my third takeaway ties it all together. Measurement and deep planning drive success. You need both parts. Measure the right things using the right attribution and plan strategically based on those insights. It's a continuous cycle.
Love it. Measure, plan, execute, measure again. Okay, so let's leave our listeners with a final thought, something to chew on.
Okay, here's one. As a business developer, think about this. How could redefining your current campaign metrics, maybe shifting to a more sophisticated attribution model, actually unlock growth you haven't seen yet? Could it make a stronger case for getting more resources for your next big initiative?
Ooh, that's a good one. How could changing the way you measure change the results you can achieve and how you talk about them? Definitely something to reflect on. Take a hard look at your current dashboards through this lens of actionable KPIs and realistic attribution.
It can be eye-opening.
It really can. Well, this has been incredibly insightful. Thank you for breaking down such a complex topic.
My pleasure. It's vital stuff for anyone in BD.
Absolutely. And thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it valuable. Until next time, keep digging for those insights.